Well, hey guys, we're back at it once again. We're at the movie theater once again. What did I see? Well, I actually went and saw Michael, that little Michael Jackson biopic, or biographical if you prefer more formal language. Um, what did I think? I actually really enjoyed it. I forget the name of the kid who's playing Michael. I know it's his cousin, or like a cousin or a nephew or something. It's somebody related to him. I can't remember who. Jeez Louise, it's gonna kill me. But I, I feel bad. Whoever you are, brother, you did a fantastic job portraying Michael. I think probably one of the best stand-ins I've ever seen for Michael Jackson. I'm trying to think. I know I've seen other people play Michael Jackson before, but this is the first time it really felt like I was seeing Michael portrayed, if that makes any sense. So first off, I'm going to have to say this movie really, really, really makes me dislike Joe Jackson. And I didn't have much love for Joe Jackson as it was. I've watched plenty of interviews, and I think he's a manipulator, and I think he's a bad guy. I think he's dead, actually. So, yeah, they say don't speak ill of the dead, but you know what? I think he treated that family as his cash cow and his way to stardom when he had no real talent. So, quite frankly, no love lost there for Joe Jackson. The rest of the Jackson family's lovely, and as far as I'm concerned. But as it were, back to the movie. The guy who played Joe Jackson, again, I'm terrible with names, guys. You know that. Actually, I think did a really good portrayal of Joe Jackson. Very much showed that manipulation kind of mindset that Joe Jackson had. I will dock the movie a couple points, strictly because it does not go into the later years of Michael. I'm not talking about the allegation years. I'm talking about the mid-90s Michael, because there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. The movie stops in 1988. So if you're looking for later parts of Michael Jackson years, no, not yet. There was a little tidbit at the end of the movie that said his story continues. So I wonder if they're going to do a second part. Because I will admit, this movie was long. This movie was about 2.5 hours. It's a long movie. It's definitely engaging. But it is a long movie. So, with that being said, I'd highly recommend, if you do plan on watching all of it in one sitting, you make sure to bring yourself plenty of snacks. That would be my big recommendation. But what did I think? The singing was really good, really on point, really did sound like Michael. I do wonder if the guy who's portraying Michael is doing the singing or not. I hope so, because if that is the case, he's a dead ringer for Michael. It's kind of incredible, honestly. But like I said, they cover basically the start of the Jackson 5, I think back in 1966, all the way to 1988. And we get to see some, iconic moments. Of course, they talk about the Pepsi incident that Michael got injured in. Of course, they talk about the lead up to the release of Thriller and, stuff like that. So I think it does a pretty... I'm trying to think if there's anything they didn't cover for those 20 years, and I don't think there is anything that I can recall not being covered. So, honestly, I really, really, really think if you're curious, if you're somebody who like me, who's a fairly casual Michael Jackson fan, but still very much enjoys his music, I think you'll get your money's worth out of this movie. Not going to say it's a little dry, but it does have its moments that a little, very... It likes to show Michael's creative process, if that makes any sense. And we kind of get his thought process and his thinking. And, of course, we do see him interacting, with cancer patients, especially cancer kids, stuff like that. And, that was a big thing for Michael. He was a big believer in trying to do a lot of charitable things in this world. And, regardless of what you think about him, I think that's a pretty noble goal in life, personally. And I will say there was actually a couple of moments that almost made me cry. And I'm a hard man to make cry over movies, but there were a couple of moments. There's only two things that make me cry on command without fail, guys, and that's the song "Cats in the Cradle" and what is it? It's a recent song, "Till You Can't." That song also makes me cry. But we're getting off topic. But those always make me cry. I'm not going to start thinking about it because I will cry. But all in all, I think it's a fantastic movie. If you're a Michael Jackson super fan, you've probably already seen it multiple times. The people I was in the theater with had other people come in and they said they'd already seen it a couple of times. So that was freaking crazy to me. I mean, it takes a lot for me to go see a movie a couple of times in theaters when the movie just came out yesterday. It's Friday today. They had some later screenings yesterday on Thursday. But, I mean, this movie is less than 48 hours old to the general public. That's some dedication right there, guys. So all in all, I would highly recommend you go see it. It's definitely worth it. It's rated... It's something you could bring your family to and be fairly safe with. They don't really swear all that much in the movie, and obviously there's nothing else really lurid as far as topics go. It's fairly cut and dry for teaching you the history of the Jacksons' first 20 years in the music industry from 66 to 88. So I'm hoping we do get a part 2. I would love to see them continue because I think there's a lot, I believe Michael's whole story deserves to be told. I know Joe's going to go see it probably like 30 times. He and I actually went and saw Michael Jackson's Believe, that little concert movie thing, back when it came out in theaters. Me and Joe went and saw that. So that's a core memory for me, and I'm sure as I'm saying this, he's typing a comment right below talking about how much fun that was. And yeah, I agree, bro. It was fun. So, yeah, definitely, guys. I'd say I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I'm only docking half of a point simply for the fact that it doesn't have the rest of the story. So hopefully we'll get that part 2. And then maybe eventually we'll get a mega cut where it's like a 5-hour cut. That'd be pretty cool, if I do say so myself. It'd be a long day, but hey, wouldn't that be fun? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things the algorithm likes. I'm trying to get us to 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2026, guys, and I can't do it without you. Please, please get your friends watching. We are trying to make that happen, and it would mean a lot to me, guys. So please, if you got friends that might like this sort of thing, or they're on their fence about seeing the movie, and they want to review it, spoiler-free and all that, please, please consider sending them this video. And thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the very near future.